hole 4, Glen Helen Regional Park. Hole 4 at Glen Helen is a par 4. There's a B position that's pushed back up into those trees over there. That's 570. This position is just to the left of this tree here, and it's 475. It's playing a lot. It plays a lot farther because you're throwing essentially straight uphill. There is no mandatory the road here, and then the parking lot as you get up to right about the tree there cuts in, and there's a little parking area. The parking area is OB, so the cement and beyond is OB to the left. If you have a big forehand, there is an option for that, to get up around this tree here, right? Off the tee pad. You want to get to right about this tree. You want to get to the right of that into the green over here, out into the open. I usually put something straight out over here, try to get it up to the tree. There's a little electrical box or sprinkler box out here. If you can get beyond that, you're in a good position. You're in a good position for par. Like I said, there is a shot for the big forehand. I've seen a lot of guys go for the forehand, overturn it, and it goes straight OB, and they're having to take their lie from 50 feet off the tee pad here to the left. My suggestion is just to put something straight out in the fairway and play for your 4. That's my goal. That's what I do. I will throw the trail here. I'm going to put it, like I said, straight out. If I could, when I get beyond the tree, if I get beyond the tree, that's good. I usually do. It's playing a lot harder because you are throwing uphill. So that's just fine. I'll probably have 300 left to the pin. It doesn't feel like, so if you range it from the edge of the tee pad looking straight there, it's 475, but you're not really throwing straight at it, so you're throwing farther. So it probably plays like 570 around the tree here or in the fairway. As the crow flies, it's 475. So here's hole 4. This is the little parking area that I was telling you guys about. From this cement and beyond is OB. If you come to rest on top of the cement, you are in bounds. So I guess I have a tournament here. There's the tournament, the Rodeo Showdown, hosted by Roller Ace Productions. If you guys are interested, disc golf scene. I'm not good with technology. I was gonna say link in bio, but disc golf scene, if you're into tournaments, Roller Ace Productions. They do some really cool tournaments. The boy Nate and Joshua Cheney, they run that. Really cool stuff. They do some fun things. I'd say probably still about 300 to the pin. I'm gonna swing this out to the right, straight out. I'm gonna play for my 3. I'm sure I could probably get there, but I don't want to run the risk of throwing OB. So I'll take that every day. It's going to be a little scary on the upshot, but it beats going OB right next to it there. That's a rough one. So I'm right about 50 feet. The pin is right here. There's a pretty rough head wind, right to left head. So, and it can pick up in the evening times. When the mornings here are absolutely stunning. There's not a breeze. It's beautiful. Afternoons, early evenings can get a little rough. We're in the 215-15 corridor, so once again, par game is a good game, guys. And on this par 4, you're throwing directly uphill. Try to block that wind a little bit. Um, yeah, getting a par on this feels like a bonus at times, especially in the wind. And if you're looking back at this pin here, the tee pad for hole 5 is just to my left, your right. Yeah, getting a 4 here feels good. Not as good as a 3, but it's pretty steep. It's pretty far uphill. So getting any sort of movement uphill without going OB here to the right. I've seen a lot of people on their upshot go to power something in to get pushed over right to left, because like I said, that it's kind of a right to left headwind that comes off this mountain. And if you're throwing with anything with a hyzer right hand backhand, that wind tends to drag you. I tried to keep my shot low, so it's not that affected, but then I'm not getting all the distance that I could. So a 4 is just fine. Par game is a good game. Hole 4, Glen, Helen Regional Park. The pin position in hole A is beyond those trees here. This is a par 4, 570 feet. It is playing uphill. It is kind of sneakily uphill. My play is a right hand backhand, is put something straight out. I would like to get around this tree. The right hand forehand is always tempting, but you do have that road to contend with. Now, this is a dog leg left here, and anything road and beyond, or once you get past this little tree here, there's a little parking area which has a concrete divider between the fairway and the road. The concrete divider and on is OB, so anything, if you're hanging over, if you're on that little concrete divider and you're hanging over the green or grass, you're inbounds. If you're on the concrete divider entirely without hanging over the grass on the right, that is out of bounds. Your first shot, you want to land somewhere by this little green electrical box here. I've seen people throw the right hand forehand to try to get around that tree that you just saw. And the wind coming off of here is always kind of a head. It's almost a head left to right as you're throwing off the tee pad. Once you get up here, it goes kind of, because of the dog leg, it's a head right to left. So it kind of gets tricky with what you want to choose. Oftentimes you'll see somebody push a little bit far right on their first shot, and then their second shot ends up pushing up to this tree here to the right. This is the pin position A. You can see the basket coming up to the left here. There is a pin position B that is pushed out to the right a bit farther away. So your second shot, you're hoping to land somewhere up around here, or, you know, maybe about 50 feet from the pin or so. Anything right hand backhand at this point, that wind is going to be a head right to left. So if you're throwing right hand backhand, if you put something on a hyzer or something that's overstable, the wind has the tendency to drag it OB. It's probably about 30 feet, 25 feet from the pin to the OB area. It comes up really quick, especially with that wind. So you're hoping to land somewhere right around 50 feet. If you're playing for the par, if you can sink one from 50 feet, that's always an option for your birdie. I've only ever managed to birdie this hole once or twice. And it was just, the heavens opened up, Valhalla cried my name, and the Valkyries carried my disc in. The tee pad for hole 5 was just there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe.